within this particular area, within Southlake, within Westlake, all of these places, how does someone go about looking at those super luxury properties? How what have you advised? Because sometimes I'm thinking, if it's a very unique home, it may not comp, right? It may not, from an appraisal standpoint, there may be some issues. So what have you done in the past to help clients get into those larger estates?
So because I'm familiar with the market here in Northeast Tarrant County, or we're calling it the Northwest Suburbs, there are properties that have sold that we can use as comps. Several have been off-market sales that we're able to inform the appraiser about. And because I'm familiar with the previous sales of these units, we can go back in time and try to show the appraiser these units that have sold, or these homes that have sold. And we are having some challenges. We are appreciating quickly here in North Texas, and so appraisers have a tough job ahead of them. But when you have multiple offers and you have over asking offers, it shows the market is still willing to pay those higher prices, and so that's a challenge. But we've been successful so far in getting all of my properties closed without a problem.
Yeah, and what you want to be, you want to have a strategy in the very beginning. It's not where, okay, you go under contract and you cross your fingers and good luck, right? When it comes to getting that appraisal back, you want to have a strategy going in, right? So if you're able to have an understanding, and this is really where you work with me, where we will look at the client's assets. And if their goal is to put 20% down, because that is the investor minimum, then we identify, okay, how much are they willing to put into the transaction if it doesn't appraise, right? So we could go, when you're writing that initial offer, you can actually say, well, we're willing to come up $100,000 or willing to come up $50,000, and that's it, right? That way, if it comes back where it underappraises, we already know what's going to happen. And that helps your offer stand out. And that's really the difference of working with an established team versus, going out on your own and just putting offers out there willy-nilly, right?
Right. So one of the strategies that we're using nowadays is the waiver of appraisal. And you've got a couple of options there. You can set a kind of a minimum that the home must appraise for, and if it does, then you're willing to pay the offer price as long as it meets that minimum, or do a full waiver of appraisal. But you need to make sure that not only do you have the down money available for the loan, but you also can make up the difference between what it does appraise for, which will probably be around what the asking price is. What I'm seeing in the market is that most listing agents are recommending that they list the property, or that the seller list the property at the market value, or doing comps, pulling comps and saying, okay, this home should sell for this. Let's list it at that price point, and then let the market come in if they want to offer a higher price. And so you just need to be aware of that. And I would say that more than likely you need to look at every property and think and be prepared to pay up to 10% over what the initial asking price is. Now you may be able to get the home for less than that, but just be prepared to pay that in the event that we have to go there. So that's my recommendation.
Yeah, and there's a common misconception when it comes to appraisals and the down payment and this appraisal gap that you have to make up. So if you were putting down 50% and the investor minimum is 20%, a lot of people think, oh, well, if it doesn't appraise, I have to put more money into the transaction. No, you don't. You don't, because you only have to meet the investor minimum, right? So if it comes in where your loan to value, instead of it being 50%, because that's what you have, all of a sudden it goes to 60, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to actually put more money into the transaction to even it up. And that's why you can make that offer where you waive the appraisal, right? So you have an appraisal waiver in there, because you know that that home is going to appraise at a certain level, and you're not going to have to put more money into the transaction, right?